And I would like to introduce to you 4 actors. The first is, I would like to invite Eve Bitama Ada. Eve Bitama Ada is an entrepreneur from Cameroon, specialized in production and processing of cassava and banana. I think you have eaten some banana from your farm. And Eve, you're welcome. The second actor, Miss Tessa, Missy, where are you? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But she's from Caribbean. She is a scientist. She's working in research. And she's our second panelist. The third, Mrs. Maria, she, where are you? So she's, you are not very tired, I think. She arrived yesterday night. And speak slowly English because she's, if you can talk to Spanish, it will be better for. So, and the last one is Brian. Brian, where are you? So thank you, Brian, for participating, because the first participator, the first panelist had problems with visa program somewhere in the world. I don't know, and he had to go back to his country. And Brian take the role of this panelist. Thank you. I would like to give to you the mic so that you can introduce you better. Do you have on the mic?
Yeah. Maybe we start with you, Maria. Maria, where do you come from and in which organization are you working?
Good morning, everybody. I am from Nicaragua. I work for a foundation who deal with innovation technology for the rural sector.
And Brian, can you say something short about yourself? Where are you coming from? I know, from very far. And what is your organization?
Okay, before I introduce myself, I like to say in our language, and I want everybody to say it because I think everybody's getting tired. In Samoa, we say Talofa. I want everybody to say Talofa. In Fiji, where Christian and Andrew come from, we say Bufa. In my country, the Cook Islands, we say Kia ora. That means welcome. Yesterday I scored on last minute to people at the panel team, which I was very privileged. I am a senior extension officer with the Ministry of Agriculture, and I work with young agripreneurs and women. And honestly, I love working with the women. They listen to us men. I always say to the people out there, when a man and a man talk together, they want to listen to each other. But when a man and a lady talk to each other, wow.
Thank you.
Morning. Morning.
Good morning. My name is Tessa Dowdy. I'm from Grenada, but I live in Trinidad and Tobago. I work with the Caribbean Extension Network, provider network, and I also work at the University of the West Indies. and I'm also a postgraduate student in research.
Hi everyone, I'm Yves Mitana. I'm from Cameroon. I am an entrepreneurship advisor working mostly in agriculture, but I'm also a farmer because I started my professional career by creating a farm. Then I'm also working for one governmental agency involved in entrepreneurship. But I'm here on behalf of GFRAS to share the experience like a young entrepreneur. Also, what will be the step from the idea to the creation of the farming business. Thank you.
Yeah. Now imagine you would be in an escalator warehouse in a very high building, and the escalator takes half a minute from the bottom to the top. And I just ask you, but you should know somebody who is an entrepreneur. What are you telling me within these 30 seconds? Which is your favorite agripreneur, man or women, that is in your mind? Who starts? 20 seconds.
I would say I have two favorites, a young man by the name of Alpha Sinan, and Luke Smith would have spoken about his initiative with the White Farm. And I also can speak about a woman who is 50 years old from Guyana, who is involved in the coconut water production as two inspired entrepreneurs from the Caribbean.
Thank you very much. Escalator arrived. We move down again. Who tells me a story by moving down?
My sister is a young lady. She created pesticides using organic material, and she sells that to our local farmers as a substitute to buying, instead of buying these hazardous pest controllers. Thank you.
My favorite entrepreneur person is a woman that she was emigrated to look for better condition, and they cannot arrange there in the other country, and she returned and began to make a corn cookies with $200, and now 5 years after, she managed an enterprise that with $10,000.
Alors, l'exemple que je vais tirer du meilleur entrepreneur que je connaisse, c'est celui-là qui n'a pas de nom, qui est en train de travailler tous les jours dans vos villages, dans vos forêts, qui ne peut pas être là ici, mais qui travaille tous les jours, qui a décidé d'entreprendre par lui-même, qui n'a pas accès aux conseils, parfois sur les conseils à la business, mais qui travaille tous les jours. C'est lui-là qui fait vivre en fait nos villes en par leur production. Je ne connais pas leur nom, mais je sais qu'ils vont se connaître par rapport. Merci.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very interesting. I don't know if you had the opportunity to take the translation of Eve's conception. So, do you want to talk in French? You prepare? So because if you talk in French, so they will have time to take their translator. Okay, no problem. So there is also a small problem with this. I see. Don't worry, they are trying to find a solution because this part is hot, but no problem, they are going to find a solution. Okay, next point.
Maybe preparing next point, I tell you my favorite entrepreneur. This is a couple. They run a farm and they added every 2-3 years something new in their production line. Cooperating with other people in the village, And I remember one day, this farmer, when we visited them, he told me, look, whenever you guys from Extension, you turn up on my farm and you discover something, you feel, oh, that's very interesting. We have to talk to other farmers about it. Then I know I have to invent something new because my old technology is becoming very familiar and copied by anybody. So I just start thinking whenever you turn up, what will be my next business?
Thank you. So, for you, what makes an entrepreneur unique amongst other agriculturalists?
An entrepreneur is firstly a human being. Human beings, somebody who have physical and psychological skill. Firstly, you have to own knowledge to do something. You have to get the know-how, how to apply this knowledge to something, like how to drive a tractor, how to plant seed. And also, you have to keep the knowledge of how to behave, behavior regarding the business, regarding the money, and regarding the environment. You have to keep all of three levels of skills and knowledge and behavior by itself. Firstly, is like what you want to do is deeply answer of this question. What I want to do with my life. Then you can choose a business or change the business, and you can go inside to yourself and keep working hard, even if it's very difficult, to move forward.
I'll begin with that statement made by Merida when she said exceptionals are people person. I'll say the same thing about a unique entrepreneur. I'll say a unique entrepreneur is a person who is a people person. Someone who is willing to think outside of the box. Someone who is willing to go beyond what we refer to as the norm. Maybe referred to as a crazy person if you want to interpret it as that. And someone where others view your idea and your interpretation as being way out of the ordinary. And then I'd say put this together with an internal drive and an internal motivation to want to succeed and a love for what you're doing. I said given that would make a unique entrepreneur. And ended with that, wanting to make money as well, because if that entrepreneur is someone who doesn't want to make money, then to me that ends the uniqueness.
I will say in a short sentence that what made a unique entrepreneur. I think he or she is never give up. He or she only want to go ahead. They can make a mistake, but they go up and try to advantage, and always want to help the other to go out with them.
Honestly, an entrepreneur or an agripreneurship is a person who makes other people's life easy and really cheap. Robert was saying income minus expenses is the expenses part that we try to make easy for everybody else. So if I come with an innovative idea and somebody sees it, they say, that's how you do it. So make life easy. Thank you.
When I was visiting West European countries and Central Asian, ex-Soviet countries, I got the impression, at least in these countries, there are many people, they do not seek to be an entrepreneur. They are happy to be a farm worker. How is it in your experience? How many of the farmers you work with do you think they have a spirit, a drive to be an entrepreneur? And how many percent do you think they really prefer just to be employees, farm workers, or very modest farmers with their sustainable production, but not being the big venturist. Can you please share your experience about this?
In our experience, we work with cocoa plantation farmers and coffee farmers, and in our experience, every farmer wants to be entrepreneurs, but 10 years before, 10 years ago, it was about 10% that they want to go ahead to be entrepreneurs, and now it's rise up with about 30% because they have changed their attitude, and they saw the opportunity to work in a value chain to increase their income.
From the experience that I have seen in other Pacific countries, farmers do not realize that they are in entrepreneur. You don't need to tell them, oh, you're in a business. They already know that they are. They just need someone like them to tell you you're a business person. So farmers themselves, they are already in the business.
What I can say from my experience, that which is not very vast in terms of working along with farmers or entrepreneurs, but I can say from a gender perspective with women, I have been doing research with women who are interested in entrepreneurship development, and previously, or in all parts of the world, not many persons were that interested, but we now have a surge and increase in the interest, especially from women and youth, young farmers. The environment is now increasing in terms of being enabling to encourage such persons. So hopefully in the near future we'll see much of an increase in terms of entrepreneurship.
Firstly, I'm going to answer to a question. How do we see ourselves like an entrepreneur? How I see what I'm doing daily? Is it an economic activity to get money, or is it economic activity just to spend time? I think agriculture has to be seen like an activity daily to get money, and from that you have to step back and see what would be the steps. Firstly, like firstly, how I see this activity. Is it positive or negative activity? Some of the youth in rural areas think that the best job is in town. I'm sorry, I really believe that the best activity is related to land working. Then you can feel yourself very better, because better picture that I can be proud to work on the farm and get money. Most of the time you can see that the income in rural area are better than the civil servant in some places.
Maybe you followed the e-discussion that happened before this meeting. I don't know who is aware of the content of this discussion. Can you give me a hand if you participated and you were reading parts of the e-discussion? Ooh, not too many, thank you. So there is nice material in it. And one interesting point was, is agripreneurship a concept that applies more to farmers with their farm, or does it apply more to kind of graduates from universities with an agricultural background to venture into agricultural enterprises anywhere in the value chain of any product without having to have a farm for agricultural or livestock production? What is your experience in this respect? Agripreneurship, is it more oriented, this concept, to farmers or to academics? If I be a bit polaric.
Honestly, it does not have to, it's not including the farmers. It can be also the housewife at home. Interesting enough, the person I admire, the young lady, she created organic pest controllers. By doing it at home, she bottles it and then she sells it to the farmer. So basically, it doesn't need to be a farmer. Now, when we talk about farming, I mean agriculture, we also talk about the ladies growing flowers, ornamentals, selling it to the market. So that's another concept that we can look at. Also, I forgot to mention, we do have young growers. They are more into engineering. They modify rotary hoe tractors to make it easy for other farmers to use, and then they hire it out. So it doesn't need to be a farmer. It can be a person who's very good with their hands, modify a piece of equipment, and hire it out for like $20 New Zealand dollars per day or per hour, depending on the equipment. Thank you.
Yes, I think there is not a recipe. I think it can be a professional of the university or farmer. In our country, there are there is a farmer organization that want to become entrepreneurs, and they organize it to make some economic activity to go out of farmer production. And there is young people who exit of the university, and they don't want to be a workers, and they become entrepreneurs person in the rural area. In our countries, in Latin America and Central America, rural areas is so important to the people, to them, and they can see the opportunity to make economic activity there and to go ahead with their family.
Well, I'll start by just making the statement that farmers don't think that they are entrepreneurs, and that in itself can suggest that they are. However, I would say that it's inclusive of farmers and extend way along the value chain. And as it does, within each section you would find that unique person that can come out as that agri-entrepreneur, that agripreneur. So farmers themselves are entrepreneurs, and then you can go right into academic, and I said stretch along the value chain at every stage in the value chain. So we can begin by encouraging our farmers and showing them that yes, they are entrepreneurs. We would not always get that unique one that comes out and extend way beyond, as I mentioned earlier on, thinking outside of the box. But if we can just get them to think in the initial stage that they are entrepreneurs, just to manage how they conduct their farming as a business, that is definitely.
Farming is not only how the perspective of the vision of farming. Along the value chain, you can choose any of activity. You are still working for farmers. If you are a truck driver, carry food from the rural area to town, you are involved in farming activity. So it depends really on the perspective of each other. But I think that the academic people master better agribusiness issue and work better than farmers. Then they need to help farmers to understand really that they are when main part of the global or national economy, they value the activity of each other. But the problem is, who owns the decision? Sometimes it's not the farmer to make change, it's the academic and the policymaker people. We see the farmer like something like political tools in order to, when you are close to the election, do something on the rural area, and then you are done, you come back to town to manage the other thing. firstly value the farmer by value the visual that you have of farming. It's a really interesting job. I think that can be the beginning to how it can be changed.
Okay, thank you for your statements.
Yeah.
You continue.
So you know, several years ago, when we talk about agricultural development, this topic of entrepreneurship was not in our mind. So now we are dealing with this concept of rural agripreneurship. So, do you think, based on your experience, that there is a potential or a risk in taking this rural agripreneurship as a core strategy for rural development?
Let me start. I really appreciate what you said now. I think, take a look back. My country was independent in 1960. At that time, we created the Ministry of Agriculture, named Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. But now we are moving to agripreneurship. I think we have to change even the name of the ministry. The Ministry of Agripreneurship. That will be a different by changing the mindset. Then we can develop better programs involved in agripreneurship. Of course, we don't have choice in Cameroon. We have a huge potential. I used to say Cameroon is a blessed country. But what are we doing with this blessed country? Finally, I think that, excuse me, it's more about what the men in the country are really thinking, what the relationship with the agriculture. If we think that the better job in the city, I'm sorry, we are going to import a lot of staple food that use our potential. The mindset should be done even by the policy maker, by use some work that can make people really involved in agriculture. Thank you.
Okay, in terms of the potential, I am viewing this as an opportunity for rural development, agricultural development. I'm coming from a Caribbean community. We are major importers. We import in terms of over $40 billion worth of food products. And we have the capacity in terms of land and so to produce enough to feed ourselves. So I'm thinking that in terms of rural entrepreneurship, agri-entrepreneurship, this can encourage, or it can encourage in terms of decreasing imports and so. With regard to the risk, I can say we're basically small farmers. And there is always a risk when it comes to trade and so as you grow and as you increase. The risk for me would be that of not enough cooperation and linkages among the various sectors that exist to encourage the growth of entrepreneurship. So we have research on one side, you have governance on one side, and then you have farmers on the other side. If we can create that linkage, then we can avoid that risk and encourage the development opportunity where it goes. And probably in the near future, America, so those countries that produce so much in terms of cereal, we might have to tell you keep those products or sell it to other parts of the world.
Okay. I'm agree with the previous speakers, but I want to add that if we continue to think that rural areas will develop with primary production, there is no way. We have to approach in other way to become to promote the person to make other activities to transform and to learn how to set the production and become enterprises or agripreneurs people to develop their activity in all. I think there is no way we can change the way that we have promoted to now.
Yeah, I think I'm in a really nice situation in the South Pacific, in the Pacific. So I'm hoping when you guys come to the Pacific, you come and visit our countries. Now the 22 countries, or 24 if we're including New Zealand and Australia, land type is different. Where Gibson is from, he's from an area called Micronesia. Myself and Tommy, we are from the Polynesian region, and then we have the Melanesians. The Polynesians are, we have the Polynesians, and we have the Melanesians, who are made of the Fijians, Solomon Islands, Vanuatu. Very unique enterprise. But we are fortunate that those people who start an industry in the backyard industry, that we consider as a private entity, and then us from the public sector, we give them the support. Now from the public sector, we got organizations like the PRS, people from the SPC, we give them what we are doing, and they give us a lot of support in determining that this person in the private sector is building up their business. So a person who's starting the business, like one person, like the lovely lady that gave us that presentation about the person doing the branding, similar situation back in the Pacific. Let us we always try and help the people in the private sector build up. Because at the end of the day, I'm not sure if any of the speakers, our individual government, we don't pay tax. For all agricultural activities, it's a levy on our tax thing, so your profit you get back 100%. Not like us, the public sector, we have to pay tax. For the private sector, agriculture is low. So there's a lot of support in the Pacific region. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Regarding promoting agripreneurship, putting agripreneurship as a concept in the center of our thoughts, I think they were very strong statements. Even the proposal to change the name of the Ministry of Agriculture to Ministry of Agripreneurship. So this afternoon we will talk about what is the role of rural advisory services in this context. And the question to you in this respect is, what concrete entry points do you see for rural advisory services? What needs to be done immediately as first steps to enter into this new domain, this new thinking?
I opted to start because I have a passion for gender and women's service. And one thing I can mention in terms of an entry point is to differentiate how women operate business as opposed to how men operate business, so that the training opportunity can be gender sensitive. That's one entry point I think is needed. Institutional strengthening, so the various institutions across the region, like the Pacific, the African Rural Extension, CAISNet, and all of the various extension units across the region, I think need that particular support as institutional strengthening, capacity building, and entrepreneurship support based on advisory services. And I think we can go, when we're talking about agripreneurship, I think we can go in the idea of pluralism as one of the big words Merida would have said that was mentioned earlier on. We can go in that aspect, and I love the idea of linkages and support. So that support across the various continents we are here in that particular setting, we can establish those connections and those linkages that can support and help each other along.
Yes, I think that the rural advisors are the key to change this main of the farmers. But the rural advisors have changed to see about all chain value, so production and to transformer and to commercial to sell the production. At the same way, the rural advisors have to promote knowledge linked to interchange a knowledge for the farmer with a seller and an farmer which are involved in the agricultural production. I think our role is to be as a rural advisor to change this way, this way of our farmers.
From the opposite perspective in the Pacific countries, a rural advisory officer, and from my personal point of view, we start work at 8 o'clock and we finish until the sun goes down. There's no such thing as you work from 8 to 12, 1 to 4. If you're very passionate, you're out there. Now, for rural advisory officers, they are the linkage between the private sector and the public sector. They report back to the ministry, what is happening out there, what support is needed. So those who come up with an idea, they will help our growers, our farmers, our marine resource crowd who comes up with an idea. They are free to come and discuss, this is what I would like to do, where do I go from here. So there's a freedom of speech, and talking about speeches, we have to speak at different languages, at different categories. You can speak to a minister at an academic level, high level, down to the grassroots, talking to school children. You can explain things, speak the same word, but differently based on age and language as well. Otherwise, at the end of the day, if you talk to them about a scientific plant to a public grower, the grower says, "Get the of my name." Thank you.
So to be a good translator and capable to speak many languages.
My answer about the question is the agripreneurship have to take it seriously. Firstly, I will appreciate what agripreneurship is doing by creating a national extension organization called ANADER. This can be the key make changer of the country, because I think they are everywhere in the country. Is a permanent activity. I discussed with Deputy General Manager of this organization 2 days ago, and he said that there is some private sector who are the board of this organization. I was wondering how it's possible. He said yes, it's possible that even only by the statute of this organization, people who can make difference by bringing financial loans inside, it can make change. But extensionists will have a lot of job. Firstly, work with farmers. But I think we need another kind of extensionist that will work with the society, because the farmers cannot only by themselves really make change. We have a job to be technical, technological, and change the behavior of farmers. But if the environment of farmers continue to see them like just raw material provider, we don't really have a good effect. I think we need two kinds of expansionists: the rural and local expansionists, and the policymaker is expansionist for agriculture and agripreneurship.
If you are yourself a farmer, you said, I would like to ask you, what was the best service you ever got from a GFRAS person, and what were you missing most during your career? 2 short answers.
I'm still on my way, working to succeed like farmers, because we have many obstacles in farming. I'm still on my way as an agricultural advisor, working on my community, helping people. I can't say something in the end now, but I hope that the future will bring more opportunity, not only for me but for youth, because I'm not saying regarding many youth who suffer in rural area. So my last word will be the word of hope that GFRAS can really influence our policymaker to improve the extension services. Thank you.
Okay, so I have one point. So do you want to share with us one successful experience. Do you know what is for you the most fascinating success story about agripreneurship you have experienced? A success. And can you tell us if it is the result of the effort of the entrepreneurs, or the agripreneur, or the condition, local condition, or environmental condition?
I thought I had the most successful person at one time in my mind, but it has changed in recent times. One of the problems that we have in the region is that of aging farming communities. A person's not getting involved or not wanting to be involved in agriculture and agricultural development. And this young man, Luke Smith, was here explaining in a presentation yesterday about his idea in what we call Y Farm, which is We Help Youth Farm. His name is Arthur Senon. You can Google Y Farm and you will find everything about him there. And his idea, when Marina was speaking about that internal drive and about, I know him personally, and that young man has an internal drive to think outside the box. And he developed this idea of an agricultural hero, a superhero, going out there and encouraging young persons to get involved, not just in farming, but in the entrepreneurship aspect of it. And I would refer to him as a success story. And one of the things that I admire most is that he takes it to the schools and from the primary school level. And you get young people all excited about this superhero in agriculture. And to me, that's one of the success stories I see emanating from the Caribbean. And I think it has a long way to go in terms of development and encouraging youth. And not just youth, but extending beyond and reviving that passion for agriculture and the older folks, the older persons involved in agriculture. And that is my success story.
In my case, the agripreneurship history that I like too much is a coffee cooperative that it was produced a coffee with a traditional system, and they see the opportunity to sell their coffee as a special coffee, and they began to make a new practice, another practice to become organic, and at the end they have many results. One of them is that they took a high price, $70 above the normal price per kilo, and then they increase their income, and their children can go to the school, and the other, which are teenagers, go to the technical school to know how to make a coffee, how to toast, how to transform the coffee, and they came to go to the national market too, and now they are a very big cooperative which are recognized in both national and international markets.
When the question was coming up, I tried to think a success person or people that I see successful. We have a lot of success stories, but one in particular I kind of admire is this. I'm sure all of you guys have come across this with your parents. Your parents want you to be a lawyer, a doctor, but they never want you to be an agricultural, work in the farm. They think it's a dirty business. Now this lady I'm talking about, she was a lawyer, but she wanted to, she has a wee son, and she's worried about his health. So she went into agricultural farming, but the Pacific countries, and I'm sure in our countries too, we always think of our environment, because our islands are quite fragile, and we do not want to use hazardous pesticides and so forth. So this lady, she created her own farming, created some land, but she created her own, I don't want to call it pesticides, because it reminds me of suicide. So I'm just going to call pest controllers. So she created her own remedy using buckets, killing the leaves, all the leaves, plants that get out a strong odor that repel insect, puts in the bucket, ferments it like making homebrew, but you can't drink it, and then let it ferment, add sugar, and then she bottles it. And then she put it on the field to control whitefly, which attacks most of our crops. Now some of the experienced farmers, they see what she is doing, now they want to buy, they don't want to make it, because ladies, they're really particular how they make things, and which makes them really good at agripreneurship. As men, we want to get the job done. So we don't mind spending a few dollars buying this lady's pest controller to control our pests. So she's been really good, and at the moment we have quite a few growers associations. We've got Young Farmers Growers Associations, Women Growers Associations, and so forth. I'm sitting in all of these associations to see that government is very interested in their group. So I had with this lawyer, the lawyer who's become a farmer. So the tree is there. There are people that want to told by their parents, I want you to be an accountant, I want you to be a lawyer, I want you to be a doctor. They change it, they want to go into farming. So it is very encouraging. Thank you.
Yeah. Please allow me to make a kind of picture comparison. Cameroon is a very great country in football. Okay. Le Cameroun est un très grand pays sur le plan footballistique. Je vais prendre l'exemple de Samuel Eto'o, qui est le meilleur footballeur, pour répondre à votre question, peut-être dans le monde. Mais sachez que quand vous voulez identifier le meilleur exemple qui est Samuel Eto'o, il y a des milliers d'autres qui n'ont pas pu émerger, mais qui travaillent tous les jours pour pouvoir arriver à cela. Donc l'exemple que je vais prendre, c'est celui que je connais très bien. Mais j'aimerais avant ça prendre l'exemple de tous ceux qui sont au départ, qui ne sont pas connus, mais qui travaillent tous les jours. Très, très dur pour pouvoir s'en sortir. L'exemple que je prends, c'est M. Manjo, mon associé actuellement dans la coopérative avec laquelle je travaille, qui en 1999 a laissé un travail dans une banque, au cadre de banque, et est allé complètement recommencer à zéro en créant une entreprise agricole. Aujourd'hui, c'est la première entreprise qui produit du maïs de manière irriguée dans le centre. Et ce qu'il a de particulier, c'est parce qu'il est inclusif. Il ne pense pas à émerger seul, il pense à amener d'autres personnes autour de lui pour pouvoir augmenter la production. Donc, ce n'est pas un exemple solitaire avec quelqu'un qui a réussi, c'est celui qui a réussi mais qui travaille avec les autres. Merci.
Thank you. Thank you. I think you have highlighted several successes, and it means that rural agripreneurship is a way of gaining money, making money. You can get success. The last question. Can you your child? Yeah, but one question. You can answer with one sentence. We are in a meeting, an annual meeting. What topic do you want to learn more during this meeting? One sentence, and so you can. What do you want to learn more during this meeting about agripreneurship?
If there is the opportunity, I would like to learn about methodology to improve the rural agripreneurship.
Okay, thank you.
For me, I'm always targeting the youth and the women, so in my experience, yesterday we had a good discussion on gender sensitivity. We didn't finish, but I'd like to a little bit more pushed on. That's my sentence.
I would go with Maria in terms of methodology, and especially in the aspect of the collection of data, disaggregating data, so we can differentiate and understand the various differences and how we can approach development from different perspectives.
Maëla, mon dernier mot sera en fait, c'est de savoir comment est-ce qu'on peut développer beaucoup plus de services de vulgarisation privée dans nos communautés, dans nos pays. Parce que la question de l'agriculture, de l'entrepreneuriat agricole n'est pas une question liée uniquement à l'État ou aux partenaires ou d'autrement. C'est une question locale et sous-régionale. Donc, comment faire en sorte pour que chaque mairie, chaque association, chaque coopérative ait à l'intérieur d'eux-mêmes quelqu'un qui peut leur donner au quotidien des conseils en entrepreneuriat agricole. Entrepreneuriat au sens large, au sens concept, au sens pratique aussi.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian, Maria.